Hi, Vallejo Project. I am Assembly Member Lori Wilson, proud to represent the 11th Assembly District, which includes Solano, East Contra Costa, and a very tiny bit of Sacramento County as it surrounds the Delta. I'm so thankful to Adjoa for inviting me to participate today. It is October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I'm proud to say that I'm a breast cancer survivor. And in some ways, I like to use the word thriving or thriver instead of survivor because I know there are so many women who are thriving every day and don't have the type of diagnosis I have and have to live with breast cancer the rest of their lives, and they are still thriving. And so I'd like to get into a little bit about, what I had to go through over the last few months. I had my regular mammogram in February of this year, 2023. And I had been getting regular mammograms because in 2020, my dear friend who I've known since the seventh grade had got diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. We were all the same age. And it was pretty devastating. And she was managed to able to get through a stable place. She's not considered in remission. She's not considered cured, but she's in a stable place with it. But in honor of her, me and another friend, we made a commitment to her that we would get regular mammograms. And thank God that I did, because in February, in my regular mammogram, it came back as something concerning. I went to the next appointment where they did some additional work, some additional images, and they were still concerned. I went to another appointment where they did an ultrasound and they were still concerned. And then I had to do a final appointment, which was a biopsy of the mass that they were concerned about. And sure enough, in March, earlier this year on the 15th, I was officially diagnosed with breast cancer. It started a long journey that I've been going through the last few months, but I wanted to make sure my mind was right in the beginning of it. I'm a person of faith, so I knew that it wasn't something I could cure myself, that I was going to have to rely, on God's wisdom to be able to get through this. But I also knew that people knew me as someone who was full of joy and happy. I had grown up in a pretty dysfunctional childhood, and so I had gained resiliency throughout my life, and I wanted to keep that even through this. So I decided very quickly that since it wasn't something that I could go around, it was only something I could go through, that I want to do it with joy. I wanted to do it with peace, and I wanted to do it with my happy, optimistic self, and not let the challenges of the day get the best of me. And that's what I attempted, and proud to say that I was able to do the entire time. In April, I had to get a lumpectomy, which was a surgery to remove the tumor. We found that that was the best course of action for me. When they did that, they found that the cancer had spread to at least one of my lymph nodes. And with that, it was going to require additional treatment. I knew going into the lumpectomy that I would have to get radiation. That's just the normal course. But now I was looking at chemotherapy as well. So in May, I started chemotherapy and I had to do that over a 3-month period. It was hard on the body, but glad that I had, my family and friends who supported me, who cooked meals for my family when I couldn't, and for staff who just showed up every day, even when I couldn't be around public. My immune system was compromised, so everything was either via Zoom or via very limited contact, and I always had a mask on. It was like the pandemic all over again. Went through that, and then, got a little rest from that before I started radiation. And then once completing radiation, I had to have a second surgery, which would have been my final surgery, which was just a couple of weeks ago at the time that I'm making this video. And so I'm really excited to be able to have cleared the time of having cancer. But what's really key, I think, to my successful outcome is, one, because of my friend, being committed to mammograms, being committed to cancer screenings. There are all different types of cancer, and people are succumbing to them every single day. But one of the indicators for a good, successful outcome is to ensure that you're getting your cancer screenings. So if your doctor recommends that for you or your family, I would encourage you to get that screening, because detection early allows for the use of modern science to be able to help the body cope with it, deal with it, and hopefully be cured from it. Another thing is that, one thing I found is that I've had to rely on family and friends. I used to think that I think I could go it alone and do things on myself, but there was no way to get through this season that lasted over 7 months without people there to support me, not just to do things on my behalf, but really to encourage me, especially when my body wasn't living up to what I wanted to live up to. So I hope that gives you an idea of what someone going through cancer is like. It's really important that we find a cure, especially for those who are stage 4. I have a successful outcome because I was at a stage 1B. There were, 4 stages of cancer, and in stage 1 and stage 2, they had 2, an A and a B, and I was a stage 1B. So because it was earlier, I was able to have a successful outcome, but so many people don't. And so it's really important that we support organizations that are working on finding the cure, and that we get degrees that, for you, it's still in school. I encourage you to get degrees in the field and science fields that help you uh, find cures for today's, physical ills. It really will help mean a lot. I know it means a lot for my family for me to be here. I was able to welcome this past June a new grandbaby, and glad I was here to see that grandbaby. So I just want to thank you for letting me share about my breast cancer journey. And I hope that you spend this time month reflecting on that and thinking about ways to support other men and women who are going through this challenge of their life right now, and find ways to, support those organizations that are searching for secure. And of course, choosing a field where you can be a part of that cure as well. With that, you all have a blessed day, and I hope to get to see you in person.